In contrast, the Workers' Party, Associate Professor Jamus Lim, and Mr. Leong Wan Wai from the PSP took a different approach. You made serious allegations regarding our public officers, regarding our agencies. I do not know why you have to take this approach, especially after I had explained what happened on Monday. I had clarified the facts on Monday. Why is it necessary for Mr. Leong and for Associate Professor Lim to still want to throw our public officers under the bus? Why is that necessary, sir?
Let me start by stating unequivocally that I have deep respect for the hard work that our civil servants put in, often involving long hours and comparatively lower pay than they could have commanded in the private sector. But I feel that it's nevertheless imperative for me to highlight instances where the system that the civil service operates under, which is, to be clear, overseen by this government, is problematic, because our civil servants can only do the best they can within the constraints that they face from the government of the day. So, once again, to reiterate, I'm critiquing the system, not the civil servants. I do not think it's useful to bring in the civil servants as pawns to a political argument.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I would like to start by first requesting Associate Professor Jamus Lim not to put words into my mouth. I did not refer to our public officers as pawns, and I don't think he should too. We have deep respect for our public officers. We know that they work hard, they do their work well, and it wasn't so clear earlier when Associate Professor Lim was making all the criticisms about working in silos and having breakdowns of communications that he was referring to the system. Now, if his concern is about the system, I have also explained on Monday and then earlier what happened and why it was not in the ordinary course of operations for MAS when they are assessing information from a financial institution to share that with another government agency. Now, if Associate Professor Lim considers that as a failure, a systems failure, then I presume maybe he could let me know what his counter-proposal is. Is he then suggesting, and I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, I'm only asking, is he then suggesting that anytime MAS receives information, whether there is a reason or not, we should then share it with all other government agencies? I hope that's not what Professor Lim is proposing. I think that will have an impact on investor confidence, and it will affect our pro-business operating environment. So I've explained what happened with this particular case, and I've also reiterated the chronology of what happened, and I hope Associate Professor Lim can accept that account of what happened and not keep repeating unfounded allegations about the public service officers in our system facing constraints from the government of the day when it comes to sharing of information. I don't think there's any evidence, unless Associate Professor Lim can produce evidence. Otherwise, I would like him to please withdraw that rather serious allegation.
And I don't plan to prolong this, but Minister Chee had requested that I withdraw an allegation, if I'm correct, that there was a communication breakdown between different arms of the civil service. I'm happy to make this withdrawal, but I'm a little puzzled because it is actually, in his words, that there was an information gap. This was presented on Monday between MAS and MCCY. Now, I understand I characterize this as a communication breakdown instead, but perhaps Minister Chee is triggered by the word breakdown. Let me, again, I'm happy to withdraw the statement if he thinks it's a matter of terminology. Now, the second point is that he had asked me to make a suggestion, and I did so in my speech, for how I think we should go forward. So this is the constructive part, and that is that I think future transactions of such strategic importance should at the outset involve the establishment of a multi-ministry task force.
Minister Chee.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I also do not want to prolong this debate, but just to clarify, I wasn't asking Associate Professor Lim to withdraw his comment about the communication breakdown. He's entitled to use that phrase if he prefers to. I was referring to his comment that the public officers are unable to share information due to constraints imposed by the government of the day. That was what I would like to request, that Associate Professor Lim withdraw that comment, because that is not true. We do not put barriers to prevent our public service officers to share information. In fact, in this case, the decision to share information was proposed by the public officers and supported by the political office holders on the MES board.